Hello, everybody. I want to talk a little bit about the speech that Donald Trump gave last night, which was a long-awaited speech about immigration, and that's been one of the things Donald Trump's been real strong on is bringing this to everyone's attention. Well, it's been in everybody's attention, but he's really highlighted it. It's been a hot topic, maybe a hot potato for a lot of people. It's a very touchy subject, and it's very complicated, and it's something that it's it's not an easy thing. You got families here, you got people here he wants to deport, and which would disrupt a lot of people's families and stuff like that. He's got a real hard line on this. He's kind of softened it a little bit, but I want to talk a little bit overall about Donald Trump and his inability to close the deal. This guy, I thought the speech was one of the worst speeches I've ever heard. The pundits on Fox and CNN, they've never sold anything. These people got fat, cushy jobs just sitting there and being pundits and listening to somebody like Trump and giving their little analysis. Their analysis sucks. That was a horrible speech. That was one of the worst speeches I've ever heard. Donald Trump has put on two of the worst displays I've ever heard any politician, or by the way, any public person ever display. The first was when he went after John McCain, calling John McCain not a war hero. That was despicable. John McCain got in an airplane, flew over enemy territory, Hanoi to be exact, was shot down, and spent, I think, 5 or 6 or 7 years in a prison camp. And for Trump to come out and say he wasn't a war hero, I thought at that point anybody that followed this guy or was after this guy or thought that this guy was going to be a good president, you know, didn't couldn't they're just doing it out of frustration because they got nobody else. Because I don't care what anybody says or thinks about John McCain, and I'm not really a big fan of his. I mean, anybody that picks Sarah Palin as a vice president, who can like that? But come on, man, the guy's a war hero. He went into combat. He jumped in an airplane. He got shot down. Real bullets were aimed at him. Real guns. Real things. And the guy was, I think, drugged through the streets of Hanoi, put in prison, isolated. And for Donald Trump to come out and call a guy like that not a war hero, and then to say something really stupid when he said not only he's not, I don't like people that got captured. I like the guys that didn't get captured. That was like one of the dumbest things I've ever heard anybody say. Seriously, that's like one of the dumbest things I've ever heard anybody say. Donald Trump's going to lose this election, and he's going to lose it. And what's really sick about this thing, he's losing this election without Hillary doing anything. No public appearances, not going out to talk to people, not interacting with people, basically hiding somewhere where nobody even knows where she's at, doing nothing, saying nothing, doing nothing to even interact with anybody. And she's going to win. She's going to win by a landslide because of how stupidly Donald Trump has run his campaign. And I just want to talk a little bit about the speech last night. Donald Trump claims he's the closer. He wrote the deal, how to make a deal, how to close the deal. He's the businessman. He negotiates. He's going to negotiate great contracts for everybody. Last night he was in front of the American public, and he had to close the deal for what the African voters, he's way behind in the African voters, the black voter. He had to close the deal. And basically what he got up and said is, your life is miserable. Your communities are horrible. Your people are shooting at each other. And what do you got to lose? Vote for me. That is one of the most horrible pitches I've ever heard. And whoever he has hired to help him make that pitch doesn't know how to make a pitch. That's what his pitch was last night. Gets up in front of everybody and says how horrible things are. Goes on about how horrible our immigration system has been run, how awful everything is, and gives very little detail about how he's going to fix it, but he's going to fix it. He's going to make good deals. He's going to negotiate well for the Americans, but doesn't have any way of giving any belief in that other than the fact of saying it. Hillary's been bad. The Democrats have been bad. Everybody's bad. The black people got it so bad. Their poverty rate is off the charts. They got nobody to look to. It's just horrible for these people. And I'm going to come in and I'm just, what is the worst pitch you could ever make to somebody? I'll tell you what the worst pitch there is. Somebody is you're ever going to, I'm offering you nothing. So what do you got to lose? I'm offering you nothing. So what do you got to lose? That's basically what his pitch is. I'm offering you nothing. What have you got to lose? Vote for me. I don't have any offer. All I know is your life sucks. It's terrible. Your communities are horrible. Everything's bad. And what do you got to offer? I'm come vote for me. You got nothing to lose. That's basically what his pitch is. Worst pitch I've ever heard in my life. Like I say, the two worst things I've heard in a long time are his speech last night and him berating or saying John McCain was not a war hero. Two of the worst things I've ever heard, public person say or do. If Trump was serious about winning this campaign, which I don't think he is, and I made a video about this a long time ago, thinking Trump was running a false flag, and I kind of believe he is because nobody could be this inept. I mean, he's so inept that Hillary's going to do nothing to win this election. But if Trump really wanted to win this election, he could have come in last night with a positive message. Obama had hope message. Obama had hope and change. Hope and change. Trump's got it's horrible, vote for me. Horrible, vote for me. Everything's bad, vote for me. You can't come in with that kind of a negative attitude and have anybody be inspired to vote for you. If he could have really wanted to win this thing, then come on, man, I'm nobody. I mean, he's got all the money in the world to find anybody he can to make these arguments for him or put this message out. He can't do it. So that shows me right there, he's a horrible deal maker. He's a horrible pitch man. He's a horrible campaign runner. He can't even get the people in place to make a good pitch. The better pitch would have been, hey, I'm here for you. I'm going to be the guy that's going to connect with you. I'm going to connect with your communities. I'm going to connect with your leaders. I'm going to connect with the Black community. And you know what? Under my administration, you will not have anybody ever that's been the friend of to you that I will be. And I will make things great for you. And I will do everything I can. And I will do everything that's been done, and I will do more. That would be a hope message. That would be something that people could say, yeah, man, I'm inspired by this guy, and I'd like to vote for him. Instead, Donald Trump comes out and says how bad everything is and that you got no other choice. And what do you got to lose? Vote for me. Horrible, horrible, horrible pitch. Then at the end of the thing, he brings up the unfortunate number of parents that have lost people to some sort of violence by illegal immigrants. Horrible, horrible deal. Nobody would argue that. That's 100% thing. But it kind of is like at the end of the thing, he brings it down even again by bringing these people on stage. And of course, everybody feels bad. Everybody's, almost, we get to hear stories. They're horrible. And nobody wants that stuff. And I'm sure nobody wants that stuff. Even the people that are here illegally don't want that stuff. But it brings this thing down is, oh man, how bad everything is. And if I don't get president, look, you're going to have a whole bunch more of these people, and we're going to drag these people up. And we're going to really be kind of, everybody's going to bring their hands and say how awful it is. And look at what these horrible stories of how these young people were killed and shot, with these parents still grieving over this and how awful this is. And we bring them up on the stage and we all talk about, I give them hugs and kisses and everything like that. That's not a message of how to fix things. That's not a message of how to make it better. It's not a message of what we're going to do to make things or bring some excitement and hope into this, but just drag a lot of people up that have been through misery and say, well, look at what happened under that Obama administration and how bad those people are. As much as you hate Obama, and I'm no Obama fan, I'm no anybody fan, but I can tell you there are probably some things within the immigration things that are working and that can be built on. And that's what people want to hear. They don't want to hear how bad everything is and it's got to be all disintegrated and we got to start all over again. They want to hear the positive that is working and how we can build to make it better. Kind of let's work to make things, let's not destroy this system, because everybody's going to find something positive with it. So his basic strategy has been shoot his mouth off, say a bunch of bizarre, weird stuff like John McCain isn't a war hero, pretty much berate and disintegrate everything that's been done up to this point. The Black people have a horrible environment. If I listen to Donald Trump, I wouldn't think there was one successful Black person in this country, because they all live in horrible neighborhoods and everybody's shooting at each other. That's basically his opinion of Black people. So don't bring any inspirement there. And then just continue to dog everybody and say how bad everybody is, and change every few months your entire campaign staff. I mean, that's basically what Donald Trump's done to try to win this election. And that's kind of why Hillary has done nothing to win this election. And Donald Trump has done nothing but destroy himself in this election. This has been a firing squad by self. He, he might as well just had all the guns pointed at himself and pulled the trigger, because that's exactly what he did. And if we think a guy like that's going to be a great negotiator for this country, a guy like that is going to come in here and fix everything and solve all these problems. And the other thing, he draws so much attention to the wall. Think about the wall. I mean, the wall is a physical structure down on the border. We live in a pretty technological society. I don't know that we need to build a wall, and I don't know that every time somebody says something about it, it's going to be 10 feet taller. I mean, that sounds so stupid. And I just make them make it 10 feet taller every time somebody says something. Every time somebody says we're not going to do it, it's 10 feet taller. I mean, what does he think, that people are just idiots? That now every time he says something, to the point that Rush Limbaugh says, I don't even believe him. You know, I was listening to Fox News the other night, and they were talking about the immigration thing, and Limbaugh said something. Well, did you really believe him? I didn't believe him. You know, did you really believe him? The guy talks out his ass so much, most people don't even believe him. And that is what it is. I mean, he's never ever going to do what he says he's going to do. He's pandering now. Now he's gotten to a point where he's got himself in such a mess that all he does is just gets up and gets real negative and just basically says, whatever, what do you got to lose by voting for me? You know, that's basically his message right now, especially to a lot of people that really would be looking for somebody that could inspire them. But Donald Trump's not inspiring people. He's not putting out a message of hope. He's not putting out a message that would get people to rally around him and to really make a big change that this country does need. Donald Trump is only people, I think, voting for Donald Trump right now are those people that are so angry and so pissed off they could care less what Donald Trump does. I don't, just Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. Like he said, and he said it himself, I could murder somebody out on Fifth Avenue and no, I wouldn't lose a vote. Those are the people that are going to vote for Donald Trump. But Donald Trump will never win this election. I don't think he really meant to win this election. And if he thinks that he's the pitchman, the salesman, the deal closer that's going to make this country great again, I got to see it, because I haven't seen nothing but horrible pitches, horrible messages, and horrible things that he said that make absolutely no sense. So whatever it's worth, that's what I got to say about it. I know that there's a lot of people hoping on this guy, and that's why I don't like him, because he is making a lot of people hope on him when I think, realistically, he doesn't. He's just a big BSer. So that's what it is. So thanks for listening. I appreciate it.